Welcome to day 2479 of What Shift You Know. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Originally started doing this segment for personal reasons, just to keep track of what I was doing, what was working, what wasn't working. I call it the good, the bad, and the ugly because all the things we try absolutely positively do not work. Actually, most of the things that we attempt and try and do and take action on initially actually flop or fail in little ways that we need to tweak and test and change and be open to fixing in order to get the success that we want. Well, today, no nonsense November, tip number 11 on 11/11/2024. If that's when you happen to be seeing me, is today. If you're not, guess what? The lesson and the information is still great and good because it's no nonsense November. So it means it's some strategies and lessons learned that I'm sharing throughout the entire month of November that I learned usually the hard way. I can't think of any of these lessons that I learned the easy way. Every single one of them was a hard-fought lesson learned due to making mistakes. Sometimes it was just one horrible mistake that taught me the lesson. Other times I had to make a whole bunch of mistakes to figure them out. Well, today's is having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, open versus closed. We've talked about this before in both Supersize Your Business as well as my challenges in different segments that I've done. And so I, of course, have a backwards written graphic for it. And it basically reminds me to think about what's most important and what even is a growth mindset and why do I care? To me, a growth mindset is being open to the possibilities. And just like anything else, we live on a continuum. Sometimes we're super happy. Sometimes we're not so happy. Sometimes we're open and flowing with what's possible in the universe. Other times we're like stuck in a hole or in our comfort zone and we're not willing to even see the possibilities. And that depends on, and it's why I have a big depends here, where we are on this spectrum from open to closed, fixed to flexible, stagnant or planted. I call it planted to growth. Depends on a whole lot of other factors and what's going on in our life and what's going on around us. I know if I'm stressed, guess what? I hunker down and contract, and I'm not open to a whole lot of possibility. If I'm not stressed, if things are flowing, if things are going well, if I have a positive outlook on life, guess what? I'm a lot more open to things and a lot more growth oriented than not. Now, I personally am very growth oriented. We're doing the Let's Grow annual challenge. Obviously, growth is a core belief of mine and very, very important to me. I feel like we're here on this planet to be continually improving and becoming a better version of ourselves all the time. So obviously, that is just core and inherent in who I am and how I want to show up in the world. Do I always succeed? No. Sometimes I'm an a-hole just like everybody else. Don't want to be that way very often, but I pop into that role just like everybody else on the planet does. So talked about some different strategies and different ways to build in a growth mindset and be thinking more toward growth in our daily life. Things like setting learning goals instead of just result goals. I have goals that are just about becoming a better version of myself. Those are learning goals. Results goals, I'm going to make $100,000 a year. That's a results goal. And sometimes people tie their ego and their identity to that. And if they don't hit that goal, they beat themselves up. Well, that doesn't work, right? It can be effective, depends on you and what works for you, but it doesn't work for me. I need to have things that I'm working toward all the time. It's why I have lifelong legacy goals. I set these huge, audacious, and I don't even share them with people because they'd be like, you are absolutely crazy to think you're ever going to make that happen in the world or in your life. And so I set those. I've set them a long time ago, decades ago, and I'm always building toward and working toward them because they are my huge growth mindset drivers. And so I know that if I'm doing something every day, like in the Let's Grow annual challenge, to move me toward my this year's goals, they're contributing to my lifelong legacy goals. And that's just the way I work. Everybody works differently, so you have to find what works for you. That's a learning goal, is figuring out what works best for you. So for Supersize Your Business, as well as for the Let's Grow Annual Challenge, this whole month, the month of November, I decided I was going to make things work for me and be a little bit easier. And so I'm talking about the same thing, both with respect to our personal growth and development, and then our building and growing and supersizing our business, which is actually working out much better than I initially thought it would. I thought it'd be a little more challenging to do, but guess what? Some topics are universal and it's really easy to talk about them. All right. That's all I've got today. If I can help you anyway, it's Monday in my neck of the woods. We got a lot going on, brand new week. It's getting to be toward the end of the year, so that's always a busy, busy time. But if I can help you in any way, please ask. Let's go out, make it an awesome day. Look for a way to grow today. Look for the possibilities and have an awesome day. I'll be with you tomorrow.